So good morning to all. Today we shall solve the questions based on semiconductor electronic materials and some simple circuits. So here the first question. What they ask is, first one, so when using a triode as an amplifier, the electrons are emitted by, so four options they have given, grid and collected by cathode only, cathode and collected by the anode only, anode and cathode by anode collected by cathode only, anode and collected by the grid and by cathode. So when you observe all those four options, the right answer is B1. Second one, for amplification by a triode, the signal to be amplified is given to first option cathode, second one grid, third one glass envelope, fourth one anode. So here we know the amplifying action of triode is based on the fact that small change in grid voltage causes a large change in plate current. So the AC input signal which is to be amplified is superimposed on the grid plate. Therefore, this one is the right one. Third one, for an electronic wall, the plate current I and plate voltage V in the state charge limited region are related as I is proportional to V to the power of 3 by 2. Second one, I is proportional to V to the power of 2 by 3. Third one, I is proportional to V. Fourth one, I is proportional to V square. So according to Child's law, so we are writing this one as I is equal to K V raised to 3 by 2. So from this, I is directly proportional to V to the power of 3 by 2. So therefore, for third one, eighth one is the right answer. Fourth one. So when a triode is used as an amplifier, the phase difference between input signal voltage and output is 0, pi, pi by 2 and pi by 4. Here, voltage gain of the amplifier, that is given by output voltage divided by input voltage. So that is given by the formula mu into RL divided by RL plus of RC. Why? Because this is negative sign indicates that output voltage differs in phase from the input voltage by an angle of 180 degrees. So therefore, this holds for pivot resistive load. Therefore, this one is the right one. Because pi is equal to 180 degrees. Fifth one, choose only false statements from the following. First one, so they have given in the conductors, the valve and conductor band overlap. Second one, substances with energy gap of the order of 10 electron volt are insulators. Third one, the resistivity of a semiconductor increases with increasing temperature. Fourth one, the conductivity of a semiconductor increases with increasing temperature. So here, the resistivity of a semiconductor decreases with increasing temperature. Therefore, this one is the right answer. Sixth one. Carbon, silicon, and germanium atom have 4 valency electrons each. Their valency and so rest of thing it is in upward. Here it is shown. So conduction band are represented by the energy band gap represented by so energy gap of carbon, silicon, and germanium respectively. Which of the following relation is true? So symbolically they have given. So here first option, energy gap of carbon is greater than energy gap of silicon. Second one, energy gap of carbon is less than silicon. And third one, energy gap of carbon is equal to silicon. Fourth one, energy gap of carbon is less than energy gap of germanium they have given. So band gap of carbon is 5.5 electron volt. For silicon, it is 1.1 electron volt. Therefore, energy gap of carbon must be greater than the silicon. So therefore, so here among 4 options, the right option is 8th one. Seventh one, in semiconductors at a room temperature. So 4 options they have given. The valency band is partially empty and conduction band is partially filled. Second one, valency band is completely filled and conduction band is partially filled. Third one, valency band is completely filled, and fourth one is conduction band is completely empty. So in a semiconductor at room temperature, the electrons get enough energy so that they are able to overcome the forbidden gap. Thus at room temperature, the valency band is partially empty and conduction band is partially filled. Conduction band in semiconductor is completely empty only at 0 Kelvin. Therefore, for 7th one, 8th one is the right answer. Eighth one, carbon and silicon both have same lattice structure having 4 bonding electrons in each. However, carbon is insulator whereas silicon is intrinsic semiconductor. So this is because of First option, in case of carbon, valence band is not completely filled at absolute zero temperature. Second option, in case of carbon, the conduction band is partially filled even at absolute zero temperature. Third one, the 4 bonding electron in case of carbon lies in second orbit, whereas in case of silicon, they lie in the third one. Fourth option, the 4 bonding electron in case of carbon lie in the third orbit, whereas silicon, they lie in the fourth orbit. So here, electronic configuration of carbon. So we are writing this one as so here for carbon, so we are writing that is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Same thing, electronic configuration of silicon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and 3p2. So therefore, the 4 bonding electrons of carbon and silicon lie in the second and third orbit. So therefore, for 8-1, C1 is the right answer. Ninth one, absolute zero silicon acts as non-metal, metal, insulator, none of these. So we know semiconductor are insulator at room temperature. For ninth one, C1 is the right answer, that is insulator. 10th one, for a p-type semiconductor, which of the statements is true? First option, they have given electrons are the majority carriers and pentavalent atoms are the dopant. Second option, they have given electrons are the majority carriers and trivalent atoms are the dopant. Third one, holes are the minority carriers and trivalent atoms are the dopant. Fourth one, holes are the majority carriers and pentavalent atoms are the dopant. So 4 options they have given. So in p-type semiconductor, holes are the majority carriers and trivalent atoms are the dopants such as aluminum and gallium. Therefore, for 10th one, C1 is the right answer. That is, holes are the majority carriers and trivalent atoms are the dopant. 11th one. So in N-type semiconductor, which of the following statements is true? First one, holes are the minority carriers and pentavalent atoms are dopant. Second one, holes are the majority carriers and trivalent atoms are the dopant. Third one, electrons are the majority carriers and trivalent atoms are the dopant. Fourth one, electrons are the minority carriers and pentavalent atoms are the dopant. So in N-type semiconductor, electrons are the majority charge carriers, holes are the minority charge carriers, and pentavalent atoms are the dopant. Therefore, A1 is the right answer. Twelfth one. If a small amount of antimony is added to germanium crystal, so first option it becomes p-type semiconductor. Second one, antimony becomes acceptor atom. Third one, there will be more free electron than holes in the semiconductor. Fourth one, its resistance is increased. So when a small amount of antimony is added to germanium crystal, the crystal becomes N-type. In N-type semiconductor, electrons are the majority charge carriers and holes are the minority charge carriers. Therefore, for 12th one, each one option is the right one. Thirteenth one. Pure silicon at 500 K has equal number of electrons and holes of concentration 1.5 to 10 to the power of 16 per meter cube. Doping by indium increases number of holes, that is 4.5 into 10 to the power of 22 per meter cube. The doped semiconductor is of P-type having electronic concentration N is equal to 5 into 10 to the power of 9. Second one, N-type with electronic concentration N is equal to 5 into 10 to the power of 22. Third one, P-type with electronic concentration N is equal to 2.5 into 10 to the power of 10. Fourth one, N-type with electron concentration N is equal to 2.5 into 10 to the power of 23 they have given. So here that is, this is calculated by using formula. So that is Ne is equal to Ni square divided by Nh. So that's equal to value that is 1.5 into 10 to the power of 16 divided by 4.5 into 10 to the power of 22. So after simplification, we are possible to get 5 into 10 to the power of 9 per meter cube. So here, for 13th one, 8th one is the right answer. Fourteenth one. Which of the following statement is false? First one, pure silicon doped with a trivalent impurities gives a p-type semiconductor. Second one, majority carriers in a n-type semiconductor are holes. Third one, minority carriers in a p-type semiconductor are electrons. Fourth one, the resistance of intrinsic semiconductor decreases with increase of temperature. So this is a simple question they are asked in 2010. See? So here in n-type semiconductor, electrons are the majority carriers and holes are the minority carriers. Therefore, this one is the right answer. So for 15th one diagram they have given. In the energy band diagram of a material that is shown here, open circles and filled circles denote holes and electrons. Then the material is so 4 options they have given. That is for 15th one. First option they have given an insulator. Second option a metal they have given. Third one n-type semiconductor. And fourth one a p-type semiconductor. So 4 options they have given. So we know it is, by observing the diagram, it is a p-type semiconductor. Therefore, for 15th one, it is a p-type semiconductor. This one is the right answer. 16th one. In a p-type semiconductor, the majority carriers current are protons, electrons, holes, and neutrons. So here in a p-type semiconductor, majority carriers of current are always, that is, holes. Therefore, 16th one, this one is the right answer. 17th one, which of the following when added as an impurity into the silicon produced n-type semiconductor? They have given phosphorus, aluminum, magnesium and bismuth. They have given, boron they have given. So here p-type is phosphorus, that is pentavalent. So for 17th one, this one is the right answer. That is P is nothing but, that is phosphorus. So that is pentavalent it is. So 18th one, to obtain a p-type germanium semiconductor, it must be doped with indium, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. So 4 options they have given. In p-type germanium semiconductor, it must be doped with a trivalent impurity atom. Silicon, indium is a third group member. Therefore, germanium must be doped with indium. Therefore, for 18th one, 8th one is the right answer. Next, 19th one. So when arsenic is added as an impurity to silicon, the resultant material is n-type semiconductor, n-type conductor, p-type semiconductor, and none of these they have given. So here, when arsenic is added to impurity, that is a pentavalent. Therefore, when added to silicon, it leaves one electron as a free electron. In this case, the conduction of electricity is due to motion of electron. So the resulting material is a n-type. Therefore, for 19th one, this one is the right answer. That is n-type semiconductor. Twentieth one. So when n-type semiconductor is heated, first option, number of electron increases while that of holes decreases. Second option, number of holes increases while that of electron decreases. Third one, number of electrons and holes remains same. Fourth one, number of electrons and holes increases equally. So due to heating, when free electrons is produced, then simultaneously holes also produced. Therefore, this one is the right answer.